Pint of beer Moretti, a rum and coke, and a little coke for the little one, please. Thanks. Wow.
That was better than last week.
Honestly,
I thought that.
have you? You've really outdone yourself there.
I genuinely don't know how I do it.
That was incredible. Did you write that yourself?
My own genius astounds me.
You wrote that yourself, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
We are in the presence of great talent. That was incredible. And the sound quality from that phone.
Brilliant, isn't it?
Wow, I thought I was,
One day I'll lug my piano down here.
That would be nice.
I'll play a sonata
that would
for
look
everyone.
quite nice as well.
Just over the background of the whole thing, like a little jazzy, like in a jazz lounge.
That would be nice.
I mean, I can just take whatever keys I want, really. If it's like a free jazz lounge, and then you can just press whatever you want.
Do like jazz. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Good to be back.
Excellent.
Just before we get going, I'd like to update everyone on last week.
Oh,
you
have to have listened.
The first class versus second class post.
Right. Okay.
So
let's hear it.
So originally, mail was sorted by hand. So it was a case of the more mail you got, you just increase the workforce to get through it. And it was, I think if I recall, in the evening it was collected for out and then sorted for outbound, and in the morning it was sorted for inbound and then delivered. But then in the 60s, when they introduced mail sorting machines, that's when second class post was introduced, because then they had the priority sorting of first class. So once they've sorted all of first class, then they start sorting second class, which is why you can sometimes post things second class and it turns up the next day, because if there's not a lot of mail to sort,
it jumps straight to it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a case
Brilliant.
of they could sort everything first the night prior, and then the second class stuff gets sorted the morning.
Yeah.
And that's how it works.
Do you know what? I feel so much better for that.
For anyone listening to this and not watching this, Joe's managed to just kick the table and knock drinks all over us all.
Got a tea towel.
Yep.
Clean it up. It's a good job it didn't, there's not any electrical equipment around, like microphones and wires and lights and computers. And
concerning thing
cameras.
is, Joe's the one out of the three of us that doesn't drink.
Oh,
and he's the one that spilt the drinks.
I'm just more concerned that my beer's not in my glass anymore.
It's not an authentic pub without some dickhead somewhere spilling a drink.
It is nice to have now a beer-stained carpet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel really great about that.
I think, hang on, we're all a bit out of touch. We haven't been in a pub for a while, but we missed something there. Hey!
Right, wonderful. Thanks very much for cleaning that up, mate. There's a bit of a faff sat here watching you clean.
Sorry that it took me so long, but I get paid by the hour, so I thought I'd milk it.
You dragged it out. No, not a problem. I was for those that can't see the date of when this has been submitted, the pubs in England reopened yesterday, hence why I'm rather hungover at the moment. Hair of the dog and all that. And someone did drop a glass in the pub beer garden, and the monumental way that jeered across the beer garden sent shivers down my spine. It was incredible. It was a moment that I've been looking forward to for a very incredibly long time, and it was wonderful.
It's the moment where you give up on life, surely. If you're the first person in that beer garden to drop a glass.
Was it staff or was it a customer?
No, it was a customer.
Because there's a member of staff at Spoons, local Spoons here, and he throws glasses behind his back and stuff when he's preparing a drink, and he did it once and it travelled across the bar. It wasn't like he tried to throw it up. He'd done it for ages. I was like, this is really cool. He was like, yeah, it is, isn't it? And then went whoomph, and it flew across the bar, and you just heard it shatter. And the other girl behind the bar was like, that's what you get for showing off. I was like, I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah. So
If you're new here, I'm Dan.
I'm God, this hangover is really bad. Tom. I'm Tom.
And I'm Giuseppe.
Me and Joe brothers. Tom's our mate. Welcome back.
Hello, welcome back.
Something I would just quickly like to say for all the listeners is that obviously these go out a week after they recorded, but yesterday Ramadan started. So Ramadan Mubarak to all the Islamic listeners, and I just wanted to.
That was really, really culturally aware.
I try.
Well done. Try. And happy Hanukkah, I think.
Well, that's just made what I
Someone will listen to it at some
very
point.
Disingenuous, But I did mean it. Ramadan Mubarak to all the Muslim listeners. I think we've got like 2, but they can come back on these episodes once we build a following. They can come back on these episodes and go, he's a nice guy.
Thanks for that, Joe.
Sorry.
The silence following that.
Speaking of current affairs, has anyone got any news for us this week?
I'm having a current affair. My wife doesn't know about it.
Oh God.
But my 2 girlfriends have found out about each other.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
And they both think they're the only one.
Right.
They certainly don't know I'm married.
What's the solution?
Flee the country.
Do you know what? I'm going to approach all of them about a polyamorous relationship and see how that goes.
Okay.
I think polygamy is the way forward.
If Joe's not here next week, guys, we
know
know how it's
why.
gone.
Yeah.
Which one do we contact first?
Trust me, none of them.
No.
Solution fixed.
Invite them all to the funeral. Get them all.
Solution fixed. I messed that up.
Invite them all to the funeral and get them all in the same limo together.
And let them figure it out
just let them
themselves.
chat. Yeah.
But so how do you know Joe? And well, I'm Joe's wife, and the other one will go, what? And they go,
You're Joe's wife. Nice to meet you. I've just spoken to Joe's girlfriend.
What? Did you mean girlfriend? Because he said he had a girlfriend over there.
We've been married for 30 years. What's going on? Brilliant. Now, on our previous podcast, we did have a number of segments that we'd like to continually reoccur if we can. Maybe touch on some news if everyone's bothered to read the news, which we don't because, who reads news?
I read the news.
What have you got then?
I only have 2 things.
Okay.
Only one of them is only one of them you 2 would deem suitable to bring up, but it's the passing of Prince Philip. I would say.
Of course.
Oh yeah. Now, did you see that the BBC received a world record amount of complaints?
Number of complaints, yeah.
Because there was too much Prince Philip coverage, and it scrubbed their favourite shows like Gogglebox and MasterChef off prime time
One
telly.
day, do you know what I mean? One day of not having Gogglebox. I mean, Gogglebox is Channel 4 anyway, so it wasn't BBC.
No, they did it right across all of them.
Oh, right.
Most
stations.
But to be fair, it is actually part of the process.
It's royal proceedings, isn't it?
Yeah, you have to suspend comedy broadcasting.
But what was absolutely brilliant about that is that Channel 5 just didn't have a care in the world and continued to play Couples Come Dine With Me.
Channel 5 is Channel 5 there.
Channel 5's a law unto itself, really, isn't it? I know that, speaking of royal proceedings, I know that when Her Majesty passes, it's 2 weeks.
12 days. 12 days a morning.
Well, round up, mate, come on.
Plus or minus 10%.
13.2 days. Damn it.
Shops actually shut for a day when the Queen dies.
Do they?
They do.
Free bank
What, like
holiday.
Everything has to shut for a day.
Everything?
Everything
What if you haven't done your
shuts
big
for a day.
shop?
Well,
What if you haven't had a chance to go to Sainsbury's?
for my
There'll be
my
a pizza
sweet and
shop
sour
open.
chicken
Sweet and
ready
sour
meal.
chicken ready meal that you can't eat with your fork because there isn't any.
I'd like you to know,
Just eat.
we don't live day by day in this house. We don't just buy food for the next day. We don't just go. We don't forget to go to the shop and go, oh my God, we're going to starve. We've got nothing to
But
eat.
you might be due a big shop. You might be due, some people live wage to wage.
It's like in the middle of the 12 days. You'll be fine.
Oh, so you get warning.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's been a few days
That's
of
quite
mourning before
considerable,
the shops
isn't it?
have to shut.
Anyway, another area that we want to try and keep covering every week is it just me that wonders?
And as I said to
It
you
is.
last week,
And
yes,
as
it
we
is.
swiftly established last week, it was just me that wondered. But I think I've brought some Gucci little topics to the table
Okay.
this week. So I'm just going to scroll through my phone here, and you can cut this out in post.
Here's a joke about video and sound editors, guys. Video and sound editors are so
My is it just me that wonders? I come from a family of twins. There are lots of twins
Wonderers.
running my family. They also jog and sprint as well. No one got that joke. Never mind.
I don't explain,
The
please.
twins running my family.
Ah,
Oh well, we'll cut that out as well.
no, we won't.
So my question is: if identical twin brothers married identical twin sisters, would their children be identical?
There's a probably not. I think
But it's the same genes.
Yeah, but it's like one in. Well, I don't think they all wear the same genes.
No, leave out quite good quality.
No, but it's like a one in. I don't know the percentage. It's like 250,000, 500,000 chance of having them.
But what I'm saying though, it is like you've got twin brothers and twin sisters. And brother A meets sister A, and brother B meets sister B, and they have children. Will their children look the same?
Yeah, but they'll only get half of each parent's genes at that point.
But half of each parent's genes is the same. They'd be getting the same half.
Well, because there's slight differences. Aren't there? It's. I don't think it's based on genes. It's based on like mutation, isn't it? Because it's based on identical twins is when
twins are
the embryo starts to develop and then it splits into two. It's not like an embryo develops and goes, I am going to become twins, I'm going to become triplets. It splits, and it's a certain point in the developmental stage when the embryo splits, and that's what makes them identical or just makes them twins and born at the same time.
No way.
If we start the research now, around the time of our 1 year anniversary of the show, we can give the listeners the results.
9 months down the line, yeah.
Just the twins.
Yeah.
Because you've got a sister, right?
No.
Oh, not yet. Don't worry about it, mate.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Please, no.
He's out for vengeance today, Joe.
Oh, please.
Yeah, but
Absolutely not.
It's a thingy, and it's a percentage chance. I don't think it's...
Okay, because twins are mutants, basically.
Yeah.
That can go in the title.
Like X-Men.
Mutant twins.
Mutant twins, yeah.
Beautiful.
So I thought we'd play a game, guys, this week.
Oh,
Tom started with a game last week.
Dan's turn.
Yeah.
I am.
Ooh, Jigsaw 2.
Yeah.
But don't worry, you will know all of the rules
They should make a film series
before
out
I
of
get the
this.
answers off you this time, because I'm nice like that.
That's very kind of you. What sick idiot would
Sick,
not tell you the
twisted
rules until
individual would
afterwards.
do that, yeah.
Exactly. And leave us high and dry.
Sort of ex-police officer vibes, that, isn't it?
It
We'll
is,
tell
it
you
is.
the rules
Yeah,
first.
sick and twisted.
So I'm assuming because we've all been through the British schooling system, we played the game Snog, Marry and Avoid at some point.
Dragged through it, yeah.
Dragged through it.
You were
Yeah.
dragged through Snog, Marry, Avoid?
Through the British school system.
Oh, right, sorry.
Yeah, that as well.
I was going to say, everyone just
I think we're
avoided
going to get
you.
dragged through this game too.
So I thought we'd play a version of that, but because we're all grown up, I've tweaked
Just.
it slightly. I've changed the rules. We're gonna, instead of Snog, Marry, Avoid, we're still gonna avoid someone, but then we're also gonna pick one person that we'd go down to the pub and have a pint with,
Yeah.
and one person we'd flat share with.
Oh, how mature? How mid-20s?
I know.
God, we're all so old.
Can one of these not be start a mortgage with? I don't like flat shares. Oh, I've hit the table
I
again.
mean, mortgage is quite a...
It's quite,
quite a long-term commitment.
Yeah.
Flat shares month by month basis, which means you can still back out at some point,
But
fairly
still
easily.
Okay, go on. Give us your peoples.
I've got 3 people here for you, and while you're having a ponder, I'll talk you through my reasoning of who I'd have chosen. So the 3 people I've got are Leonardo DiCaprio, Jordan Belfort, who the Wolf of Wall Street was based on, and Johnny Depp.
Oh, that's a good shout.
So while you're thinking, I'll give you mine. I would avoid Johnny Depp now, not necessarily because I would always avoid him, but out of the 3, I think he's the person that would probably be the strangest night out with or flat share with. I think I'd go on a night out with Jordan Belfort because he's going to float your tab all night and seems like a good guy. However,
So
I
will
wouldn't-
Leonardo DiCaprio then?
yeah, but I wouldn't trust Jordan Belfort to share a flat with. Seeing the things he's done, just would not trust him whatsoever. And then a flat share with Leonardo DiCaprio because it's Leonardo DiCaprio. Can you imagine saying, "Oh, we'll go back to mine for a few drinks, but I'm really sorry,
My
my
housemate's
flatmate's
there.
there.
I do
Leonardo
apologise."
DiCaprio, he's on a bit of a weird one at the moment. He's method acting. He's getting into this role. It's just
Well, I would also avoid Johnny Depp. A very interesting character who, if I had the pleasure to meet, I would give him a firm handshake.
A thumbs up.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we're worlds apart. We just wouldn't get on at all. I don't think it would be a...
Well, you'd be forced to arrest him.
Well, not anymore.
feels like a really awkward interaction. Like I just feel like I would be so uncomfortable.
Yeah, a little, and he's very different to his characters, and people like to imagine him as, Pirates of the Caribbean kind of role or his other roles, and he's not like that in real life. He does seem a bit reclusive.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think I would also go very similar to you. I would have a night out with Jordan Belfort. because if it's anything like The Wolf of Wall Street, then it's a good night out. I mean, if any opportunities to throw a midget at a Velcro dartboard, I'm in. I'm absolutely game.
Guys, we're going to go for an after party. I pulled my yacht up.
Yeah, exactly.
Like-
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you've got a yacht. Nice. How big is it? It's like the size of 12 yachts.
Yeah. I was going to book a hotel room, but
it's
I've got more
actually,
rooms
it's actually
here.
a boat.
Yeah.
It's just a cruise ship, and he's got, I've pulled my yacht up, guys.
It has
yeah.
2
I've
helicopters
just
and a water
drifted
slide
it
on
into port.
Yeah.
Drifted into
And I
port.
think it'd be it'd be a kind of party where you'd go on a night out and then go to an after party, and then it would continue into the next day, and it would just be a kind of a week-long binge.
It'd be like the credit scene from The Hangover, where you have all the pictures, you look at them once and you delete them, you never talk about what's happened ever again.
But I couldn't live with him. And yes, I would also live with Leonardo DiCaprio. He's one of my favourite actors. Absolutely love his stuff.
Yeah.
And what an interesting guy. Even outside of the amazing films he does.
You could also bully him.
Why?
How come you've only won one Oscar?
Oh,
How
yeah,
come
you
you've
could.
only
Yeah,
won
that
an
would be quite
Oscar?
funny.
He seems like a genuinely sound guy as well,
And
though.
I think if anyone's going to be saving the planet with his talks about, global warming and fundraising to aid the Earth's recovery, it's going to be him or David Attenborough.
So I'm going to take what you two said, and I'm going to apply what you've said, like some of the points you've said, to my reasoning. So I'd avoid Johnny Depp. I'd rather not avoid him, but based on the other two, I'd avoid him. But like you said, I think he'd be a very interesting character to meet. And I've heard that he's a particularly nice person. He's very generous and stuff like this. But there's no option to not avoid him based on what my other two answers are. I would flat share with Jordan Belfort, right? And the reason is, right, so you were talking about an after party at his yacht and stuff like this, right? If you live with him, do that all the time.
And imagine the size of the flat.
Yeah, exactly. 2, imagine he would be able to give you so much financial advice.
Yeah.
You would never struggle for money again. And that'd just be awesome. And based on the whole thing of if you lived with Leonardo DiCaprio, imagine the people that you bring back to your flat. Jordan Belfort and Leonardo DiCaprio know each other anyway. So a byproduct of living with Jordan Belfort is that Leonardo DiCaprio comes around, and then all of his buddies come around. Easy money. And then I'd go for a party with Leonardo DiCaprio because I think that'd be a real cool night out. And I think based on the whole, he'd probably split your tab as well. But the Jordan Belfort thing mainly because parties on his yacht all the time. You live with him and he'd tell you how to make loads of money.
My only concern will be you don't know when the FBI are going to come around and raid your flat.
It adds a bit of spice to life, doesn't it?
The
How
FBI
awkward
come
would
in.
that be, though?
The FBI will come and raid my flat regardless of if I live with Jordan Belfort or not.
Well, yeah, and last week you did admit to solvent abuse, so I think they're on
I
the way.
didn't admit to solvent abuse, right? I'd like to clear up that was a joke.
Joe's trying to get away from that as quickly as
Yeah.
possible.
It was a joke. It was a bit of light-hearted humour.
So bringing us back to a topic from last week, which I feel Tom didn't do much justice with last week, and we need to bring this back a bit
Whoa!
with facts that I genuinely was today years old when I found out.
Okay, brilliant.
First one. You know how there's always a smell when it rains?
Yes.
Do you know it actually has a name? I was today years old when I found out it
the
has a
smell
name.
of rain hitting a nice, crisp summer's day.
Yep. It's called petrichor.
Petrichor.
It is. It comes from an oil plants extrude that dries on the ground, and when it rains, the oil combines and it creates bacteria that is what gives you that smell. So it's a genuine smell, and it actually has a name.
We're smelling grass residue.
It's bacteria.
It is.
I'm never going outside again. Not that I do particularly often anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm certainly never doing it when it's raining.
You do like your computer.
Can't
a
come
lot.
into work today.
Sorry,
There's bacteria
too much bacteria in
everywhere.
there. That's very interesting.
I know.
I like that. I love that
That's
smell.
quite-
So now that they know what it is, can they bottle it and sell it?
That'd be quite cool, actually.
I wouldn't mind, a room centres. I mean, it'd be rubbish
Yankee Candle
be
will get all
rubbish
over
if you
that.
had hay fever.
It'd be like it's like cowpole flavoured sweets, isn't it? Because cowpole tastes really nice.
Do you remember that amoxicillin used to have a yellow banana flavour?
Oh yeah.
It's
yeah.
like a thick white cream.
I used to pretend I was ill just to have that. Loved it.
It's actually quite cool. So you know how banana flavoured stuff never tastes like a banana?
Yeah.
Do you know why?
Why?
This is a cool fact. So it's because bananas were
That was a really nice transition as well, guys.
yeah.
Well done. Well done.
they are a genetically modified food. over the past however many years, 100, 200, 300 years,
Okay.
right? So the banana flavour that you taste in sweets and stuff is what bananas used to taste like.
No way.
Years and years and years and years ago, prior to being after this huge chain of genetically modified foods, and the bananas that we eat today don't taste anything like that because they've been genetically
So those
modified.
little banana foams that you get, that's
No,
a truer banana than
no,
an
I'm
actual
talking
banana.
about like you said, the banana flavored medicine, for
Yeah.
example, doesn't taste like bananas. It tastes like what bananas used to taste like before they were. Is it GMEs? I
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
remember
but
they're
that's what I
called.
mean. So
Oh, no,
like
GMEs, GameStop shares.
a Mackey's banana milkshake tastes more like banana than banana.
Yeah.
So they need to slap
basically-
like stickers on bananas that says new and improved
New
recipe,
and
don't they?
improved recipe.
Yeah.
I mean, this is years and years and years. Oh, GMO, that's the word.
GMO.
Is it
yes.
GMO?
I don't know. I'm just agreeing with you. You sound
I'd
like
say
you know what you're talking
GMF,
about.
genetically modified
No, there's a
foods,
proper term
sure.
for it. No, I can't remember it.
Genetically modified fruits.
I was genuinely today years old when I found that out as well, though, Joe. So thank
Yeah,
you.
I think that was a
thought
really
that'd be a
nice
really
addition. That
interesting fact.
one that I was, and I really do hope it isn't just me on this one, because my mind was blown a little bit with this.
Tee it up and then I'll let you know if
Yeah.
I know.
Why are planes white?
Because that's the colour they get painted.
I would assume.
Why do they paint it that
I would
colour?
assume it is to reflect light.
Okay, Joe.
I feel like it isn't anything to do with reflecting light. I feel it's more to do with, I don't actually know. Well, you get planes that aren't white.
Well, you do, but
Are you talking like
They start off as white, though,
generally
don't they? And the
speaking,
artwork goes on them.
Planes are white, and they have a bit of a design on the tail and
is
a
it
logo.
something to do with the aerodynamics? I don't
It's
know.
not. Okay.
I don't know.
Now, planes are white because light paint is literally lighter than dark paint.
Ah,
You know why?
okay.
So it's a,
Because light paint has less pigments in it
I was
than
going to say
dark
there's
paint.
less stuff mixed into
No.
it. Yeah.
Well, I did a bit of research into this and discovered that by painting a plane white rather than red or blue or whatever, it actually reduces the weight of the plane by about 8 passengers,
good lord.
which is a lot. That's a lot over the year. Now,
That's-
speaking of that,
Average weight of people is 75, 80 kilos.
Airlines do so many cost-cutting exercises. Like there was an airline that changed the GSM of the paper for their menus and the booklet.
Yes.
So it was thinner paper, so it was lighter,
Yeah.
and on average, it saved them
I've got
something
it-
like
I've got it here.
$250,000
it was
a year.
600
it was
kilos.
United Airlines in 2018. They switched to lighter paper in the magazines, like you said, and it cut 1 ounce from every magazine, which across the whole plane saved them about £11 per flight. Over their fleet, over an entire year, it decreased 170,000 gallons of fuel, which equated to $290,000 in fuel costs,
That's mental.
just for changing the paper that they use.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, isn't
That's
it?
actually, that's actually very.
And
very
then you
crazy.
also might think, well, then why paint planes if it's gonna cost? Why not just leave them as the sheet metal? And it would cost them more to clean the plane after every single flight
Yeah.
to stop it from rusting
Yeah.
than it would to just
To
paint it in the
it.
first place.
That's actually.
So
very
I was
interesting.
today years old when I learnt that, and I
That
hope
was-
you were too.
Yeah,
I
that was
certainly
really
was.
cool.
Beautiful.
Certainly was.
Finally, something that I didn't actually know.
I was today years old when I found this out, and while it just surprised me because you'd think it would be the other way around, but statistically, you are less likely to cut yourself with a sharp knife than you are a blunter knife, and it's because a sharp knife requires less work to cut through, say, a piece of fruit than a
that
blunt
makes
knife
sense.
was. So you slide through quickly as opposed to the sawing action, which
putting
means you
more
could slip
force.
and exactly
Moral of the story is
sharpen your knife.
sharpen your knives, people.
Yeah.
Gordon Ramsay's been banging on about it for years.
So you're more likely to cut yourself buttering your toast than you are slicing a chicken fillet.
No, I think it's more cutting stuff with a blunter knife than a sharper knife.
You're not going to be putting butter on your toast and then suddenly slips and you all the way up your arm.
Depends what kind of knife
And
you
there's
use to
butter
butter your
everywhere.
bread.
Is it blood?
now.
Is it butter? I can't even clean the wound because every time I try, my hand slips
It's just
off.
greasy.
Because I would argue if you try and butter your bread with a steak knife, you're probably more likely to cut your hands than you are if you use a
Well,
butter
you'll
knife.
ruin your toasty loaf as well. You put big
Yeah.
holes in it. You know, like you're using. I'll treat myself. I'll use Lurpak. It's rock hard.
I reckon I could.
Tearing holes.
I reckon I could butter my
Honestly.
toast with a steak knife.
I probably could, but if there's one thing that ruins my day, it is, making your toast of a morning, and that was
You
ripping
just
a
get
big
distracted.
hole in it.
Get distracted for 1 second. You look away, you look back, and you've managed to turn your entire piece into breadcrumbs that are now going to be used to
and the
breadcrumb
knife
chicken.
is permanently fixed into your
Fixed into your
thigh.
leg.
Yeah.
People don't realise how much making toast is a piece of art. Like getting the timing right on the toaster for a start. Because if you leave a toaster to pop the bread out, it's done too much.
Okay.
So you have to find the right time to bring it out for a start. Then you've got to get the butter right as well.
Speaking of the numbers on a toaster.
Oh well, I think. Go on, no, you say your facts that we actually all know.
Speaking, what do they stand for?
It's not level of toastiness. It's minutes.
amount of
No,
minutes
it's not
they're in
minutes. It is
What?
not
What?
minutes. It isn't minutes.
I thought it was the amount of minutes it represented.
Most toasters are not manufactured to a price point where they have timing chips in them to count minutes. Most toasters do not.
But next
count
time
up
it doesn't
in
have a
minutes.
chip in it.
Yeah, but that's different. But toasters do not count in minutes. There's a brilliant video. I don't know what I'm saying, but I find it very interesting. There's a video by Tom Scott who does all these like.
Shout out to Tom Scott.
Yeah, he's brilliant. His YouTube channel is amazing. He does like things you didn't know, amazing places, and he puts 4 toasters next to each other, sets them all to I think 2 or 4.
Same number, yeah.
And none of them pop up at 4 minutes or 2 minutes, whatever he does.
So it's increased amount of time between each number, but it's not necessarily specifically minutes.
No. Like he has 4 toasters all set to the same number, and they all pop up at different times. One of them pops up after like 30 seconds.
Well, that's what I mean. So 4 would pop up after 1, but it's not necessarily
it's not minutes.
4 minutes.
It's not level of toastiness either. It is just a description of like.
It's part of the metric system.
Yeah.
Level of toastiness.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
a difficult when we changed to imperial.
Yeah.
Some do have timing chips in them. There's
Okay.
one toaster in the video that I think pops up at 1 minute 59.
Okay.
Which
So
is
what
right
is
next
it?
to
Tell
2
us what
minutes.
it is.
I don't know what it is, but
There isn't an answer.
But I
Probably
just
a
know.
smell.
This is
But I
the
just know.
post office saga all over again. We need
Probably
to.
a
I'll
smell.
research
find
it.
out.
I'll
Dad.
research it.
Your dad used to do
I
kitchen
will.
work.
I'll have a word.
I have one interesting fact as well, which,
Okay.
which I discussed with Dan earlier, and he was like, "Oh, that's boring." I think it's really interesting.
I might find it interesting.
The Great British Plug design
That's boring.
is the most useful and the best design of the plug in the world.
Are you going to tell us why? Or
I will
is
tell
this
you
just
why.
a very, very
I will tell you why.
strong
so it's,
statement?
it's the combination of the plug and the socket that they go into, right? So
Okay.
if you look at American plugs, they're metal prongs,
the
right?
2 prongs.
Yeah. And they're all metal, which means as soon as you touch it into an outlet, you have an electrical current going through that. If you get a fork, you can jam it into those metal parts and electrocute yourself. Now, the Great British Plug,
Whatever floats your boat.
but what I'm saying, it's like a kid could do it
Yeah.
very easily.
Because it's exposed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Great British Plug design,
The Great British Plug.
instead,
Welcome back to the Great British Plug.
it's not just the British Plug, it's the Great British Plug. The Great British Plug instead has insulation tape around all 3 prongs,
Yeah.
so that at the point it's in the outlet and receiving signal, or most plugs, some people don't design them, but they certainly should. We don't get them on the earthing pin because that's not got any electricity going through it. That's the top pin,
Okay, thanks.
but the bottom pins,
You saw my-
which have a
Dan and I's just kind of blatantly confused look of,
So-
there's an earth pin?
so that's the pin at the top. So there's no electrical current that goes through that.
Yeah.
The only electrical current goes through the bottom 2 pins, which is live and neutral. And once they're into the outlet at the point where they are receiving electricity, the black insulation tape starts. So there's literally no way you can jam a metal object into those plugs to receive an electric shock.
Safety.
Precisely, and then most extension leads as well, and on outlets, but you can't see it because obviously I can't just go, oh, here's an outlet.
Rip it off.
But
Rip it off the wall.
come and get a screwdriver. and
Hang on,
pull it
cut. We'll come back and screwdriver. A load of plaster attached to it.
But you'll notice on certainly most extension leads when you can't see the bottom pins. They're covered by a piece of plastic.
Oh, yeah,
that
there's
sits
like a
over-
little... Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And it's so that they only open once that earthing pin goes in. That's why
That's
the
why
top
it's
pin's
longer.
longer.
No.
That pushes in,
Wow.
opens the bottom 2, and then the current can go through the metal points of the plug because it stops you from being able to jam things in.
What an-
Some
what an-
some don't have it and they're not designed.
Incredible amount of engineering.
Yeah, it's so ingenious.
I mean,
Wait
it's
until I
only
explain.
50,000 volts.
Wait.
Yeah, like, why would you bother?
Wait until I explain how to wire a plug, and that'll tell you even more why
Well,
the
we
British
will
plug is
bring
genius.
that on for next week.
For someone that never wants kids, you're so dad-like in the things you know.
Yeah.
It's nice,
I
that.
know.
Well, I would like to end it on just one very last interesting fact. And last week I mentioned a number of phrases that we continuously use on a weekly basis, and it was kind of the origin behind them. My phrase today,
like the wheel of cheese one.
well, yeah, the wheel of cheese. Yeah, that really.
Because you're never going to be a slice.
Yeah, never going to be a slice. But anyway, do you know where the phrase "we'll play it by ear" comes from?
Play it by hair or play it by ear?
Well, you see, as a kid, I always thought it was play it by ear. And it was actually probably only about 3 or 4 years ago that I realised it wasn't play it by ear, it was play it by ear.
Yeah.
Which then instigated a thought of, well, why is it play it by ear? Where does that come from? And it actually derives from music, of writing and playing music on sheets. So, you know, we're not going to play it by sheet, we're going to play it by ear.
Okay.
And that's where that one comes from.
So on the spot.
Yeah, exactly. We'll
No
just
way.
play it by ear. We'll see what happens.
That's quite cool.
Yeah,
That is cool.
Thought you'd like that one,
and
especially after that musical masterpiece.
Yeah, exactly, at the start. That's where free jazz came from, guys.
Well, especially the jazz hands.
Yeah. Play
Both
it by-
episodes now have been concerned about Thomas, though.
Why?
You've spent the majority of your living life thinking it was play it by
Well, I did,
ear.
yeah, probably until the age of at least 18, 19.
That's really concerning.
It's a lot of life.
I thought you said 3 or 4 years ago.
Right.
That's actually 5 or 6 years
Oh,
ago. isn't
I
it?
do apologise. My maths was incredibly incorrect.
Trying to make yourself sound...
Carol Vorderman over
Trying to
here.
make yourself sound younger
No,
than you are.
absolutely not.
We've not the table again.
You're getting good at that.
Okay, yeah, it's the legs are in different places than they were last week, right?
Oh, maybe your
sure.
legs are in different places.
They're not. They're not. It's the table legs. Don't blame me.
Maybe you've had a growth spurt.
Oh, more one leg has just got mightily longer overnight.
The
I
elephant
thought I
man.
was walking with a limp.
You've one of them shoes with a big insole in it.
Well, thank you once again for joining us,
Yeah, that
guys.
was the
I
last
hope you
order
enjoyed
spell.
it.
That was, wasn't it?
It was.
I think we need to finish our drinks.
We do.
We say
Well,
we
You,
do.
you two need to finish
we'll
yours. I'm not finishing mine.
sup up. Thank you ever so much, everyone, for listening. Of course.
What I would say as well is if you've got any interesting facts, or I was today years old when I found out, or a whole new segment that you want us to try, please
introduce it.
send them over
We
to
were
us.
more
Feel
than
free to send them
happy.
over.
More than happy to take on board your suggestions.
Absolutely.
Or write them in, voice note them, whatever you want, and we can
Write them in. We'll get a PO box set up.
yeah, set up a PO
We'll
box.
set up a PO box,
We'll be
and you can
accepting,
send us your letters, or you can just send me money in an envelope. That's fine as well.
Or and what postage?
we
would
do
you send
accept
them?
bribes.
First or second postage? No.
Well, based off what Joe's told us, just send it second class, save yourself some money. It's going to turn up at the same time.
No,
And we
no.
now know
only
why.
if it's not busy. Only if it's not busy.
But it's
Yeah.
not busy. We're not at Christmas time. We're not at Easter. We're not at any
Yeah,
time
they're
where
the
people are going
on-
to send
they're the
cards.
only 2 times when it's busy at Royal Mail.
I would argue statistically Valentine's Day and Christmas are the only times a year where you'd probably want to send stuff first class.
Do you get lots of Valentine's Day cards?
Loads.
Yeah.
It hurts my wrist writing them all out, though. That's the issue.
Oh, you send them as well?
I said to myself.
Oh, that's
I
nice.
address them to myself.
Oh, that was the joke.
That's where
It
the
was.
inflated ego comes from.
Hang on,
Yeah.
tell the joke again, sir. Just tell it again, please. So ask him if he gets lots of Valentine's
So
Day
do you want me
cards?
to start with the statistic with it?
No. I think we should keep this whole segment where I'm asking you to retell the joke.
Yeah.
Do you get a lot of Valentine's Day cards?
Well, yeah, a fair few. It hurts my wrist still writing them all out.
Because you send them to yourself. That is a good
That was,
joke.
that was.
That is a
How
good-
witty of you, Joe.
That was a good joke, wasn't it?
brilliant. Wow. And on that, well, I don't want to kind of steal the tagline from Top Gear, but on that bombshell, I think we'll have to end it there.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Take care.
Thanks so much.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'll hit me stand.